South Florida gets smart, sassy, and sophisticated. We're all things fab in Miami. This is Miami Now. She's the voice of New York, and now Miami gets a flavor of radio personality Angie Martinez on 103.5 The Beat. With major career moves like signing to Jay-Z's Rock Nation, Extra TV, and a cookbook, I caught up with the Media Maven for some girl talk.
I love, Miami's always been my second home, so now it's like my official. I have two homes now, officially.
What a lot of people may not know is you actually started your radio career in Miami.
I did. When I grew up in New York, in Brooklyn, and when I was 16, I moved here, and I lived here till I was about 19, and I started at Power 96, Miami. I was like interning and doing all that kind of stuff. My mother was in radio. And then I moved to New York when I was like 18, 19, and I started at Hot. And now, full circle, I'm back in Miami at the beat. Isn't that crazy?
Loving it. And how do you feel? I mean, when you look back in the retrospect, and things have just changed so much, not just only in radio, but just the whole media spectrum and how information is dissected. I mean, you and I were just trying to tweet real quick, gotta do that stuff. When you look back and you see things and you're seeing things progress the way they are, do you think that for the next generation coming around, do you see it as something is kind of getting lost? In a sense, do you say?
I don't think so. I think it's different. I think things change, things evolve, media evolves. Social media is a big part of what we do now. Mm-hmm. So it's either you evolve and change with it and adapt with it, or you become a dinosaur and you get lost. I kind of like it. I think it adds another element. When I first started in radio, I was only on in New York, and now with social media, like my interviews go all over the world. I get people from Europe or Japan and say, "Oh, I saw your interview with Rick Ross," and it just opens us up in a bigger way, and I embrace that completely.
As women, I would say sometimes some of us feel the need to work harder or be more masculine in order to compete.
Yeah.
Do you think that we sometimes hinder ourselves because we feel like we're women, we have to do something extra?
Yes, I do think sometimes we have to work a little harder in certain areas, but I embrace that. I think there's so many great women doing so many great things. I've been lucky. I've had like great women mentors my whole life, and so I came into the game with the idea that I could do whatever I want, and I still feel like that. And I see a lot of young girls on the come up, and I look at them and their energy, and I think that's gonna I love to see that. I love to see the next generation and try to help women also.
All right, so what are those moving forwards and doing other things? Well, I have my idea of what I want.
What does that look like?
So now I'm gonna let you answer the question first.
Well, for now, I'm doing, I'm definitely expanding the markets that I'm in. So now I'm on in New York and Miami. Mm-hmm. I hope to be on in more markets in the coming months. I have a cookbook coming out at the top of the year.
Oh, what do you cook? What's your specialty?
It's healthy Latin eating. So we do twists on some of your favorite Latin recipes.
Okay.
And so that'll be top of the year. And just dabbling in things that I'm passionate about and trying to make them come alive.
I want to know, how do you keep the balance? I just watched you today, even with Rick Ross. You just are that girl next door. That's just how I feel. Like you're everybody's friend. But sometimes they're in the news and not in the best way. How do you keep that balance with, okay, I know this person, I could call them myself, but I have to talk about them at work. Like, how do you get that balance?
Well, I just try to be fair and honest. Mm-hmm. And if somebody's in the news, they're in the news. I can't help that. Whether you're my friend or not, you're in the news today. I mean, I'm not here to bash you. I'm not here to make a bad situation worse or judge you. But if you're in the news, we read the news. It's about being fair. It's about being honest. It's about not being out for blood. A lot of people in our business, they go for the headline and they just want a quick headline and they want to get a lot of clicks on their blog. So they say the most scandalous thing that they could come up with so somebody clicks it. And I really don't subscribe to that life. I think that's temporary. I think that's fast food. I think if you build a trust with people, that will go a much longer way. I think when people trust you, that's something you can hold on to. I think you can get 1,000,000 clicks on an interview this week because you disrespected somebody, but for me, I can't sleep at night like that. So I don't really. I've chose to go another way with my career, and thank God it has worked out.
Now, and I'm gonna ask you, you're a mom, you're a major personality. How do you balance it? Like, I sometimes don't think I could get to the supermarket in the same way.
Man, every day is a challenge. Every day is a balance. Every day is a juggling act. But if you love what you do, then it just comes like second nature. You know what I'm saying? And you prioritize, right? So I have a kid, and my kid is number one. My career comes after that. After my family and my son. And you just do your best to manage it all. And you know, when I can, I take my son with me on things, and you know, I mean, listen, there's people that work way harder than us, so I don't I don't play the sad violin too much.
Right.
There's mothers out there that work 3 jobs just to pay the rent. And so I think I'm fortunate enough to have the kind of career I have and be able to take my kid to work sometimes and take him on events. And yes, it's just, for us it's hard, and for other mothers it's even harder. And you know, we make it happen no matter what.
And before we go, you touched on something. What would you tell a younger Angie?
I would tell her to be fearless. I would tell her to, like, you know, you're never gonna make everybody happy. You have everything. It's like, this is just one life in this one world, and there's so much opportunity in it. Just go. Just, you know, I think when you're younger, sometimes you let outside voices and outside things slow you up. Maybe not stop you. Like, I never let it stop me, but there are definitely moments in my life where I let it slow you up. People's opinions or people's expectations or limitations. You let that stuff kind of, like, I've had moments in my life where I was hesitant to do certain things. And I think a younger me, I would tell her, like, just go.